All right, in this video, we're going to take a minor segue and talk to you a bit about HTML, the hypertext markup language. And in this video, I'm going to kind of play the role of the student. I'm going to sit up at the front of the room with a booger hanging out of my nose and throwing apples at the teacher or something like that. I don't remember really how school went. It was a while ago. And Rob is going to teach us about HTML, and I'm going to ask pertinent questions as he goes along. So, Rob.
Yes.
What is HTML? How do we access it? Let's start talking.
Okay, well, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is a very basic, very easy to learn interface to build web pages.
Now it looks scary. I gotta admit.
Okay.
I mean, because now how did you just get to it? You just clicked on the source tab up there at the top of your index window.
Right. Here's the source tab. All of this is HTML.
Okay.
Fortunately, GoLive generates it all for you.
So you don't really have to be a master coder or anything.
Right. But it does help to know roughly what's going on.
Okay.
So let's go over the main parts here.
All right.
The first line here is your document type. This is something that is telling the web browser exactly what kind of document it's going to be getting.
All right.
There are different kinds of HTML. There are different kinds of XHTML. You don't have to worry about any of that because GoLive is taking care of it.
Okay, that's cool.
All you got to do is make sure that you leave it there and everything will be okay. Okay, so we have our opening HTML tag. The entire page is going to be enclosed in an HTML tag.
Yeah, I noticed we've got this interesting indentation format.
Right. Well, this is to help you read the code. And so when you have things that relate inside of a group, they're enclosed in these tags, and the indentions help you read it.
Enclosed in these what?
Tags. Okay.
What is a tag?
A tag, in this case, is something that is between a less than and greater than symbol. So a head, for example, an HTML page will have a head, and it will have a body. Okay. For sure. In the head.
So these are like standards of all web pages.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. In the head section, which goes from here to here, we have things such as the title of the page.
Okay. Yeah.
Any links to style sheets that you might want to include, and just general information about what kind of content is going to be on the page.
Now, I'm noticing these tags come in pairs.
Right. There's always an opening tag and a closing tag. And so the closing tag starts with a forward slash. And the opening tag has no slash at all.
So do you have to have closing tags?
Yes.
You do?
Well, to be standards correct, you do.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll work, and sometimes it won't work, depending on the kind of tag you have.
All right.
HTML is one of the good things about HTML is it tries to help you along. And so if you leave something out, you don't get a crash. It tries to do as well as it can.
I gotcha. But it's a good idea to have that closing tag whenever you open it.
Absolutely.
I gotcha.
So those are just things to keep in mind.
All right,
as
so
you're doing this.
Let's pick apart the code that we have here. Now, if we jump back over to our layout page for just a second, we can see that our page is very simple. We have just the words "Hello World" on the screen, and we remember from opening the browser over in Firefox that it says logging up at the top. Now, if we jump back to our source,
here's our source.
We can see that reflected. So why don't you kind of tell us, what do we see and why?
Okay, well, anything you do on the web page, in the layout page, is going to appear in the body tag.
Okay.
There's actually a separate, let me go back to layout. There's a separate area for the head information. And so you get these little icons, and when you click on them, over here in our inspector palette, it'll have all the settings.
Oh, nice. That good old inspector palette showing us all that different information.
That's right. You see here we have the CSS page information. When I click back into the source tab, it's highlighted just like I clicked earlier.
So as you jump back and forth, GoLive is actually showing you what it is you're working on.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. So let me close our head tag here. We can include different elements on the page. Right now we just have plain text. It is in a paragraph tag.
Okay.
Now, we can also, in addition to switching back and forth between layout and source, we can get a split view.
Okay.
So let's do that. We can click this little button here.
Okay.
And it'll give us a split view, and you're free to slide this up and down as you need to.
Cool.
And so as you change what goes in here, hello world, you'll notice that it's changing down here as well.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, and the vice versa is true too. If you change it down here, it'll reflect up here.
So let's add just a couple of fancy things to the page. I don't know. Can you give us a hyperlink?
Sure. We can make hello, for example, a link.
All right.
Now, you see what I did? All you have to do is select the text that you want to make a link.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your inspector tab, and you have a create link button.
Oh, the inspector tab is just too cool.
So now we've created the link.
Now, before you do anything, take a look down in the code and see what happened.
Right. We have the markup for a link. The markup for a link is an A tag.
Mm-hmm.
And href is basically telling it where you're going to be going, where the link is going to be leading to.
And right now it says empty reference with an exclamation point.
Right.
I guess telling us that we don't have a page in there yet.
Right. That's kind of a warning that GoLive puts in there for you.
All right.
Okay. So we can change this to any link anywhere on the entire internet.
Let's send it to 3dbuzz.com. See what happens.
Sure. If you type in http://www.3dbuzz.com.
You're typing about as well as I do. And you'll notice the code adjusts itself accordingly. Right. So now we have the tag says href equals and then 3dbuzz.com.
Right. And the whole thing is in there.
Very nice.
Now, if you go to preview and then actually click on it,
it's thinking. And there we go. It
shows up. There it is inside your window.
That's just too cool.
Yeah. So let's go back. Okay. Let's put some other elements in here.
All right. What do you want to throw in there?
Let's talk about some of the things we're going to be using.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to leave that up there. And I just hit return a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to drop a table inside.
A table. And we're going to be talking more about tables a little bit later.
Right. They're a
very important element for our web page.
That's right. There are two basic ways to lay out a page. Well, three, I guess. You could do it freeform, which means there's no structure at all. It's kind of like a Word document.
Yeah, I don't even like hearing the phrase "no structure." That's just, that hurts to hear.
Right, and so that's pretty boring.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing. Or you can use tables, which is a bit of a hack, but is become a standard hack.
Right.
In that all web browsers support tables.
Okay.
And so it allows you to create a page that's going to work everywhere.
Now, interestingly enough, what you just did is you dragged in a 3x3 table.
Right.
Let's take a quick look at our source.
Okay. Let's.
Because all you did was drag in a table, and now look at this. Our code has gotten so much longer.
It looks complicated, but let me go to full screen here. Basically, what we have is a table tag. You notice that it starts and it ends down here.
Right.
And so in between, TR means it's created a new row.
So it's table row.
Table row,
okay.
Right. And this is a TD represents every single cell.
Okay.
So it's building it from the upper left to the lower right.
All right.
And each of these represents one cell. And so we have 3 rows. With 3 cells.
Each row has 3 cells inside of it.
Exactly.
I also noticed the table tag at the very top has some settings, like the width, got border, cell spacing, all sorts of interesting stuff.
These are all things that we'll be dealing with continuously as we build a site.
Cool.
Yeah, but you can set a table to a specific width. You can give it different border sizes. You can determine how much space goes into the elements around the things you put inside the table.
Why don't you go ahead and type? Right now, your cursor is in the second cell of the first row. Go ahead and type something.
Okay, something.
You're so imaginative. But we can see right there inside the cell in our source code.
Something appeared.
We see something appear.
That's right.
Kablam!
Now you can put anything you want inside these tables. You can drag an image. Here's an image. And now it's an empty image. There's no link to it yet.
Right. Again, if you look down on your source code, you can see that empty reference popping up.
Right. And so we'll be adding all the images that we cut up earlier to our pages, and this is how we'll be doing it.
And so really quickly, you start to see the correlation of what you see up in your index window, your layout window, down in what's going on inside your source window.
Right.
Now, our goal here is not necessarily to teach you every single aspect of HTML. We're certainly not going to be showing you every single flag that you're going to come across throughout your new career as a web designer. But we just want to get you comfortable with the way HTML works. It's going to be divided up into these tags. It has a certain format that it's going to flow with. And we are, from time to time, going to need to step inside and make minor adjustments to it. Even though GoLive is going to write well, pretty much most of the code for us.
Almost all of it.
Yeah, as we work, GoLive is going to do almost all the work for us. We will, from time to time, need to jump down into that source code and make minor adjustments.
Yeah.
GoLive is essentially guessing what it is we want as we execute certain commands inside the program. Sometimes, because it can't read our minds, it's going to guess wrong, and so we're going to need to jump in and say, actually, I wanted this table to be maybe so-and-so pixels wide and things like that.
Sure.
So really, that's all we wanted to discuss in this video. So that's going to wrap it up. In the next video, we're going to continue setting up our web page inside of GoLive. Thanks a lot.